Yo, what is going on, everyone? Hayden coming at you from the gazebo out here near the pool at the crib in Bali. You guys, it is another beautiful day out here in paradise. Hope you are all doing well. I want to explain and build off of a video I made about a week ago. Actually, it was more than a week ago, but when I moved to Bali, I obviously made a video on that. I didn't fully explain why. I know I talked a little bit about my reasoning there, but there's other things that people seem to be confused on, you know, like the money situation, taxes. I want to clear all that up and explain exactly why I moved here, what made the decision, what made this possible, and everything with that, because I mean, it's kind of random, you know? It was extremely random for me. I always hated traveling, and that's not to say that like traveling's not great. It's just I personally knew that it affected my work. So if I don't have a certain structure, it does affect my work, and I've already seen that out here in Bali. So my hair is getting a little bit crazy, but I'm gonna explain that for you guys in this video. Now, let me just pop a seat on one of these little bean bags that don't have enough beans in them. They're extremely deflated. But I hope you guys can hear me well. I want to explain this further. First of all, to the people who said I moved out here for money, I'm spending more money out here than I was in LA, and way more money in LA than I was in Minnesota. So that's not why. I'm living like a king out here. It's honestly, it's a problem. I'm spending a lot of time at other resorts to get good Wi-Fi, you know, like luxury stuff for people paying way too much money for what they're getting at all these luxury resorts, and the food is extremely expensive, and they make me buy food to be there. But anyways, spending a lot of money on food, being out here, that's not why. The money situation is not why I'm out here at all, both to spend more money or to spend less money. It's just, it's what you get. Like, I really think that when I get back to the States, wherever I decide to go, whenever I decide to go there, I'm gonna get a drop top. I'm gonna get a convertible, because just the open road, you know, I've rented them, it's really fun. And how that relates to Bali, good question you might ask. I really do hope you guys can hear the audio. I'm gonna start my phone audio just in case I need to use that. But when I'm out here, this is how it relates. I'm on a dirt bike. You know, I grew up on dirt bikes. We had a cabin on a lake not too far from our house, and just a couple-hour drive. So it's like, I grew up on that. But the open roads out here, it's really, really amazing. It's really a beautiful scenery. It's just a different vibe. It's a different location. I've never experienced this. I don't know if this is considered a second world country or a third world country or whatever, but I've never experienced this. Not anywhere near. I left the country once when I grew up, and that was to Paris for 2 days. So that's not exactly a tropical, you know, type of paradise. So it is interesting being out here. My motives for being out here are extremely simple. I had nothing tying me to any location, okay? The only thing that did tie me, my hair is really crazy. Anyways, the only thing that tied me to somewhere was my car that I had shipped to LA, which is no big deal. I put that in storage. It's sitting in a garage next to cars that are worth way more than mine. So it's still sitting there. I do have it. I didn't want to sell it because I don't know how long I'm going to be gone for, and it's a one of one. What I did to it, nobody's ever done that exact combination before. I just love the car. I don't need to get rid of it. So still have that car, still paying for it. I didn't lease it, so that's why I'm fine keeping it, because I don't, you know, I'm building equity in it anyways. But so that was the only thing tying me and any of the people here that I'm with. I'm out here with a few people to LA. There wasn't exactly anything specific tying us there. So we're like, it's the perfect time. We're kind of floating, you know, if you want to, this is how I thought about it. We're floating right now. We're looking for a house, been looking for about a month and a half, maybe even 2 months, looking all the time, trying to find, we're kind of floating, you know, jumping around, Airbnbs, whatever, booking places for a week, a couple weeks, which didn't really matter. I just wanted a house. So I was looking for the right one, didn't end up finding it. And then one of my good buddies, who's an extremely talented photographer, you guys have already seen him and met him, Julian, you know, he used to live in China for 8 months. He's traveled the world, done his stuff with content, knows a lot of people, you know, Jay Alvarez, Brandon Amato, all the people in the content scene. So, you know, now I've been able to meet a lot of those people as well, but he's so talented with what he does. And so he suggested, hey, you know, because he was helping us with some content in LA, we did some photo shoots and whatnot. He's like, why don't we travel? You know, and I'm like, oh, no. I shot it down immediately, because I was the person, like I explained, where traveling always affected my work. And then I ended up going to Mexico. Literally 5 hours, not 5 minutes, 5 hours before the flight left, I booked a flight to Mexico, booked a hotel, and I went to go surprise my family. And on that trip, I realized something. As long as I structure it the right way, which I'm gonna explain what that structure is in a second, I can travel. So for me, I was only in Mexico for four or 5 days. But during that time, I had a good balance about, you know, being with my family, going and doing stuff, was eating healthy, working out, enjoying myself, catching a vibe. And I'd never experienced that. I'd never been in Mexico. You know, like I said, I'd only been out of the country once. So what I came to believe that would be the solution is, as long as I'm staying in one location for a set amount of time. You know, when I had previously traveled, when I lived in Minnesota, all right, LA for the weekend, Miami for the week, you know, we'd go here and there, Utah, whatever, you know, hit New York for 2 days. It was always a short amount of time. So it's like you're catching flights, you're dealing with all this, you can never fully work and get in a groove. So I'm like, as long as I can be in one spot for maybe a month, 2 weeks, 3 months, you know, whatever it is, more than a weekend. So as long as I can do that, it's fine. So I said, you know what, that's interesting. Where are we gonna go? You know, and we were thinking about a few spots. Maldives, I've always wanted to go there. Turks and Caicos, Bora Bora. We looked at Bali. We've looked at a few other spots, and even Sweden, Norway, and Europe, Korea, China. We did go to China. We passed through there. We literally paid a little bit more money for our flight so we could go through China for 1 day, because I didn't really want to stay in China for a while. I have no interest in that, but I went there for a day so I could experience it. It was interesting. Then we came out here to Bali, where, you know, I haven't revealed how long we're going to be out here for, but as long as I want. So it's going to be interesting to see that, but it's been working good. A few things that I noticed are not as good. There's a little bit of distractions. It's costing more than we projected, which is not the issue, but it's like I just am finally getting into a groove, so I really like it. If you guys look closely, actually not even that close, it's right there, but the pool, I stand there, it's about maybe 5 feet or so deep, so perfect height. I'm 6'2", I stand in there, put my laptop on the edge right there, and I work. And I got a view all the way down to the ocean. So it's like the perfect, you know, and there's like a table spot in there. I think Abdul's in there working. We got, you know, all the spots in the main room and whatnot. So it's nice. There's a lot of different spots to work and do stuff. The only big issue is the internet connection. Uploading a YouTube video right now, it's been uploading for 6 hours. It's at 90%. It says another hour, and I don't even know. Anyways, so that's been an issue that we've been trying to figure out. I've highly debated. Like it becomes such a stressful situation when I'm trying to do something. I need to get on a Skype call with a client. I literally can't because the Wi-Fi's not working. I've come so close to literally just booking a flight back to anywhere in the US, because in there it's like I've never had a problem with internet, really. I'm so grateful for what I used to have the internet out there. I definitely took it for granted. You know, 5-minute uploads, where out here it's 4 hours. So it's definitely interesting to see that. But the reason we traveled, I'm gonna break it down for a few simple reasons. Experience, content. It's definitely gonna help the content, the brand. It's fun. It's just better, cool, unique content that nobody else really has. We have an extremely talented photographer, so that comes on top of that, helps out all the content, you know, just making professional stuff. If you guys saw the Bali video or the China video, at least I thought, and judging by the feedback, it was extremely good presentation, editing. It was shot in 4K with a $10,000 camera, you know, really good content in my opinion. I love it. That's why I'm doing it. And you know, it's why I'm obviously paying for him to be out here and we're traveling. So that was worth it. But I also came out here because why not? Literally, why not? I'm trying to get better. This is something I've been working on for the last few months. I'm trying to get better at saying yes to things. However, one thing I learned is the difference, this was said by a billionaire. He said, the difference between me and my friends who are billionaires and me and the friends who I am still friends with, but used to, you know, be on their level, they're making 10, 20, 30, 50 million a year. The difference between those people is they say yes more than the billionaires. The billionaires say no. I'm right now training to say yes more to spontaneous things that affect me in a positive way. I was just making excuses because I was too comfortable. I was getting too comfortable where I was. That's why I didn't quite move out. You know, I wanted to move out from Minnesota for so long, moved to LA, then I was kind of uncomfortable. Then I got in a groove there. I was just chilling. Nothing was really happening. And it makes perfect sense since we didn't get a house. So that's why. Okay, you know, there's a lot of stuff, people say what they want. I have my reasons for doing it, but it's just the why not factor. You know, I'm out here, it's not like it really costs me all that much more. You know, in LA, that stuff's expensive. You guys might see a regular apartment, that's $300 a night on Airbnb. That's just stupid, you know? So it's kind of like, what do you want to do? So I just decided to come out here. You know, I've paid the money, got on a flight, came out. It was like a very short notice trip, and here we are. So it's been fun. It's been a really interesting journey. As you guys have already seen from the content I've put out, it's cool. I don't know if you like it, if you want to do something like this, maybe that inspires you. That's great. That's half the reason that I put out the content. The other half is because that's the content that was not available when I was first starting, okay? So that's the stuff that I wanted to see. And I just turned 18, so I just finally got all the legal stuff to be able to actually kind of do that, and I got my passport and all that. So it's definitely interesting. Now, to address another thing, there's been a lot of negativity going on lately, just on YouTube, not so much on other platforms. I see it mainly on YouTube. There's a lot of people I mean, first of all, I was spammed with dislike bots. That's cool for like 5-6 videos in a row. You do your thing, it doesn't affect me. But there's also people who are, I'm gonna call them clout chasers. They're, you know, using other people's names to get their brand awareness. And I'm gonna tell you why that's smart. I'm gonna tell you both sides of the point. It's smart because there's a gap in the marketplace for that, which is why they're growing. And it's not gonna last, I already know that. It's a marketing, you have to pivot and transition more into your content, which, you know, there's a few channels out there. I'm not here to call anyone out at all or start anything, or I'm not gonna respond to that and feed into that and give them video topics. I've talked to a few of them who do YouTube, you know, Brotherhood, shout out to you. I respect how he's now transitioning. I've talked to him, we've cleared up any stuff that he had thought about me or had heard about me. So there's a lot of people, it's just a lot of controversy, and I see a lot of people. I had someone, I woke up yesterday from when I'm filming this to someone in my DMs who was just completely, I'm not gonna throw up the screenshots honestly to call her out, but just, you know, going off on me for being a fraud. Like, she posted on her story, on her Instagram, like absolutely insane. And then it was for no reason, it was completely invalid. And so we cleared up the problem, and she goes on and on, like paragraphs and paragraphs of apologizing, like reposted on her story on Instagram, like apologizing so hard, and she felt extremely bad. And that's fine, but that's a perfect example of someone who's gonna break their legs, jump into conclusions like that. You have to be doing it based on facts. You know, I don't feed into drama, I don't care about it. People can say what they want, do their thing. I'm gonna do my thing. Everybody has their own style, that's completely fine. But just get your facts straight, you know? I don't play into negativity, I don't want any negativity. If you look at any of my stuff, like the Facebook group, whatever, literally in there, every single point is positive, positive, positive. I literally say that in the pinned post on there. Like, I don't even know, I think it's on my YouTube. I've mentioned it, you guys. Positivity is everything. I'm listening to a lot of DJ Khaled and Grant Cardone right now, motivational stuff, their stories, their successes, because those people, in my opinion, are extremely positive, and especially DJ Khaled, you guys already know. But I really, really like that. I love that. Just the positive energy and the vibes. DJ Khaled was making $100 a week when he moved to Miami. Hustled. Put it all on the line. I respect that. So being positive, that's helped him, that motivation. And he's old. I think he's 40 something. He's, you know, or I think he's in his 40s. He's an older person. He didn't pop off until later, but he stayed motivated, stayed consistent, and stayed positive, you guys. I want you to stay positive. That's one thing I try to practice and preach in my life. It's helped me a lot so far. It's continuing to help me on a daily basis. And you guys, I hope this video found you well. If that explains why I moved to Bali. I know a lot of people were asking, but if you want to move anywhere, you don't need to validate it to anyone. That's not my goal of this at all. My goal is just to explain because people are curious. I mean, shit, I'm still curious why I'm out here. You know, it's a really random thing, and sometimes I reflect on it. I'm just driving a motorcycle down the road and I see someone, you know, balancing, you know, it's insane. They got like a piece of wood on their head and like a 4-foot, it's unreal. I don't even know how they do it, but it's super cool. So to see all the different cultures, that's a culture shock, you know? Even out here with like this type of construction, we got this little hut thing, that's a room over there, and it's disconnect. It's really cool, all the architecture and everything. So it is a beautiful spot. It's just a culture shock, and I had the ability to do it, and so I did it. You know, that's it. So yeah, you guys, I would very much so appreciate your feedback just on everything on YouTube, on social media, like just in general. What are your thoughts on the internet right now? What are your thoughts on what people are doing, people are saying? Again, positive vibes only. I do appreciate you guys showing support on every single video. The channel is growing insane. We passed 60,000 subs not too long ago. I love you guys. I appreciate that. If you did enjoy this video, you already know, drop a like down below, hit that nice link, subscribe button to join the family and join the gang, and I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow in the next video. Peace.